guess is a good group. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you're recording it, Michael. Great. So the way I'll get started is kind of show where these things are in the folder system. That'd be the easiest way to go. So we'll just jump right in. So we're in the AZ Project Eagle INC documents. These PMD trackers live in the trackers folder, 03 trackers. We have quite a few different jobs going on out here. So you'll see the PMD tracker Eagle UPW OC35. That's maybe it seems like a lot, but that's the easiest way to show it. And then we have the polish building right above it. So I'm going to go ahead and open both of these. If you see the one, the INST, that was Michael asked to make an instrument error tracker as well. So this is what we're looking at today is just the electrical side. So I'm going to open both those. I'm going to try. Yep. Okay. All right. So I sent a link in the invite. Looks like a few people are in here right now. So we'll start with the UPW because I think that's mostly what this team's working on. The way these are set out, if you haven't used this spreadsheet, we'll kind of start from zero. We have some filters on here. So I'll show you how to clear those out. One of the first things to talk about is if you change the width, it changes the width for everybody. If you take a filter, and so please don't change the width or hide columns. Right now, I'll show you how to do a couple things, but if we, for instance, clear this filter, it'll ask, others are also making changes because you see the people up here. Michael's on here, Manuel's on here, Brian Caldwell's on here. I'm on here. Say, see just mine. Otherwise, it'll change the filter for the other people who are working on stuff at the same time. If you have a question about what Brian's doing, you can click on his little thing and you can, if you want to, click on that and you can say, it'll pull this up and you can say, hey, Brian, uh, yeah. Anyway, that'll send an instant message to him. That's just a way to communicate if you're wondering what he's up to. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and to clear out all these filters, the easiest way is to go to the data tab and just press clear. So we'll start with everything showing. There's a lot of line items here to look at, and you'll notice that some of them are struck through, crossed out. These are so we have a record of previous changes or previous items that for some reason have been superseded, either descope changed or that some of the information's changed. We keep those as a reference. So to get rid of those, we go over here to the AJ column and it's this strike through. If it's true, just uncheck true. And it will get rid of all the struck through columns. And now we have the most current information. Okay, so a couple other columns that we have. So install plan complete. This is mostly for Brian or who's working on building our install plans, which we'll go over in a little bit. These jobs are unique. They have Ovivo comments. We asked Ovivo to go through and make comments on line items we had questions on. So you'll see some values in there. Release, this is the package that it was released in. Notes, these are our notes, and I'll just go more of that. The PNID is the PNID that the point is associated with. Panel is panel it's associated with. If it's green, it means the label is printed. That's Amanda was checking those off. Instrument tag, you'll have a lot of options there. Conduit ID we'll talk about. And then these from I column over are check boxes for status. So if the pathway is installed, you can put an X there. Wire pulled, put an X. Device installed, put an X. For the panel side, we have labels, ferrules, continuity. Once those get done, XXX. Device side label plus minus shield, term complete. When all these are done, that means the term's complete. When we sent the email to Oates, we can check this box, and when the Oates completes, we check that. Some of these other columns don't have information and some of them do. These come from the PMD in the package comes from, like in the IFCs are sent out, and they'll have information here. So these aren't necessarily always consistent. The description has some good information there, depending on what package it comes out in, kind of tells you a little bit about the points, and I'll get more into that. And then the term positive, negative, shield, if it has it, signal, the type of point, output, input, digital, analog, device type, what kind of wires it takes. This is other information that goes through it, and then the wire label package here. So what is this? How can this help you, or why is it important? Everybody works off the same thing. Let's just say you're working in an area, for instance, and it's off this PNID you're looking at. So I have these two instrument tags here. Um, the plan is complete, and there's a viewpoint too. So I'll show you. This Vivo comment C drawings, not incredibly helpful, but this does show us the PNID, so we can look at the PNID. We have the instrument tag. I do not have a pathway installed yet that I know of. The conduit ID, I'll show you a little more about that. It's makeup 1, raw water level 2, kind of gives you some info, and it's a 2-wire 4 to 20 milliamp location we don't have. That's not good info. Some of the stuff Brian's working on, some of the stuff you're doing now. If I'm looking at points that, let's just say, I'm not too concerned about spares, but I want to see everything coming out of a certain Rio. Let's say it's Rio 241104. I can type in, I click this drop down, just go to search, and I can just type in Rio 241 1-04. I can choose this one. If I go back, I can choose any number of them. I can do this. I can choose 4 and 3 if I want. I can go back and just choose 4 because that's what I was talking about. If I change my mind and I want to add more, if I want to add 5 as well, I can click that. Oh, I have to do it a different way. I'm sorry. If I want to add 5 as well, I didn't know this for a long time, but this is true. You can do 241-1-05. And if you click this, add to current, it will add it to the one you already have up there. So it's a little bit quicker of a way to do that. So I know this is being recorded, so that's why I'm going a little quicker. But let's go back to just look at 4. Okay, great. So we're at 4. We have the PNIDs associated with these instrument tag points. The Ovivo comments for this is connect to junction box LCP 241-2-15. I know Emmanuel's going through and also marking what goes to what LCP, and he's doing the cable type as well. And I'll show you what it will be on the Polystrong in just a minute. But I have the notes here. So out of this Rio, if I want to see what comes to a specific LCP, for instance, because that's what I'm working on, I can pull this, and these are my points. I got LCP 241-215, everything coming out of that Rio. These are all my points. We will have a conduit ID. If that pathway is installed, that'd be great. Once we pull the wire, that'll be great. We can all look at this. And when we're, it's for the glass bead filters, this is helpful. Helpful info here. Type of wires we're working on there, and the label. So we also know that label's printed out, so we don't have to reprint that label because these are green, right? That's real nice to know. Give me just 1 second in the background here. I'm gonna pull up the model because I want to show you that. This job, for instance, in here is just PW1 OC35. This one here. And it's going to pop up, and I'm doing this for a reason. Talk about the viewpoints if you're trying to find different stuff Brian's been working on. And then let's say I want to see the PNID because I have some questions about these particular devices. Same thing, in the folder of the job, got a current install plans, and I'm working on the PW1. And I got a couple dubs. I try to clean these up a little bit. The reason this happens, if we have a question about it, is um, uh, if somebody else has it open, they're working on it, like Brian's working on it a lot. It doesn't even matter if you change anything. If Brian saves an additional like 1221, you've had it open since 1211, it'll make a copy. I'll look at the copy to see if you made any notes or changes, and I'll upload those to the new, and then I'll put this in the doc archive. So if you're missing your thing here, looks like that's old. I don't think anything's probably changed, but I'll look at it and then I'll just slide it in there. So if you're ever looking for an old version of something where you made markups, it'll be in that dark doc archive folder. Um, but I'm looking at here, PW1 PNID current install plan. I'll pull that up and we'll look at these things together. We also got connection drawings for these that we'll look at in just a second. Um, okay, so I'm going to do this just so we can see it on the one screen. So I'm looking for OVO 241DO AO3A. So I have this document open and I want to show you this symbol here will look the same on all yours. I hope so. These are all in alphabetical order. So I'm looking for, oops, sorry, this one here, 241 DO AO3A. This one here, glass speed filters, great. So I should be able to locate these points, these XVs somewhere on this drawing, which I believe are up here. A, B, C, D, and E. A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, great. This is this on this VMP, but these go back to an LCP. Great. Well, how do I know that? So it gets a little in the weeds, but again, we can go back to this. We need to open our connection drawing that they sent out. It's great. Same thing here. These are broken out by Rio. If I'm looking for this device, I can use this here and I can type that in 241-2-15. Okay, great. Here's some instances of that. I'm looking for this one. It'll highlight it. The farther you're zoomed in, the closer it'll get you to the point. So that's that's the FIT. Here's the XV that we're looking at here, 15A. And this is where it shows the VMP that it goes to. And this shows what junction box that we need to tie our 18 conductor, 18 wire. So, okay, so how does that help me locate where this is? It doesn't really, because maybe we don't know where this LCP is on a drawing. Um, Brian's been working on that. In particular, I know that if we have the model open, it's why I pulled it open. I'll show you two different ways. If it has a VP here, that's for viewpoint. And this is a little in the weeds, but we're going to get through this and figure it out. Let me look here. So I'm just pulling up my other screen. So that's acid train, cat, category, that, Okay, let me just make sure. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to look at this install plan, i.e. current install plan. And same thing. I can do it down here. I'm going to type in that same information. So XV, XV 241. dash 2 dash 15. Okay. I click on this. It'll take me right to it. So everything else kind of grays out, and the thing that you search for down here does not. So if you want it not to be gray, but you want it selected, you can just click that X there. So this shows me same information. This Rio is the Rio that this LCP is associated with. We did all the LCPs, we made them check marks. It's on this skid, the glass bead filter, skid 241115. We have at this same location on this skid, we have this FIT and all these XVs, XV212, 15A, B, C, D, E, and F. That's all the same ones we have here. It's located at C 5.5, right above this tray. We'll have a conduit coming down here. I can see the skid number here. So if I have skid 241115, and I was looking at my model, and believe me, I know this is a lot, but this is how we have to do it. So we have this on this skid dash 115 glass bead filter skid 1. I can look at these, click that, and Brian made a viewpoint that shows you exactly where they are. So currently in the model, we have one conduit coming down the one side. I think we're gonna have to have another coming down the other side. And we'll model that, and we'll name these, we'll number these conduits 007, 008. And we'll name these conduits, so then we'll have a better way to do it. And that's what I'll show you in the polish.
Hey, Kyle, do these guys need to import the viewpoints?
No, I save these viewpoints associated. So anything in the current models will have all these viewpoints already imported and saved to the model that they pull up.
Perfect.
Yep. So we'll do that ahead of time. So this can be very helpful information. Are there? We have, and I'm fully aware of this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces of information that we're looking at. That's a lot. I understand that. Um, if I could make it simpler, I would. But it's different ways to look at the same thing, because sometimes you need to know where it is in the model. Sometimes you need to be able to look at a drawing like this and print this out for your guys. Sometimes you need the detail of this PNID to know how that stuff's working and what it's connected to. And sometimes this connection drawing, which is new to this project, we haven't seen these before, but maybe more familiar to you, shows you the kind of cable that is expected to go down here. We're trying to consolidate as much information as we can to the PMD tracker, which is why I wanted to have this with you. We should be able to go here and find out the Rio, the instrument tag, the LCP, we'll have the conduit number, and where in the notes, it'll also say the size of the cable. Which is why I wanted to pull up this polish building. So this is a good example of what's going in this LCP 100-1. So this is for polish. We have the size of the cable type. We have the PNID associated with it, the Rio it's going back to, the instrument tag, and the conduit ID, conduit number 25, and the size of the conduit. So this is what you'll be able to expect from the UPW PMD as well. And so when we're looking at that, we'll have information that we can check off. Is conduit 25 complete? If yes, X. Is the wire pulled in conduit 25? X, yes. Are the devices associated, all these XVs installed? X is yes. There's a lot of points in the UPW to look at. There's over 1,000, well over 1,000. And so we really do need to make sure that we're doing a good job, as good as we can, of tracking stuff. I want to show you another thing about the polish, then I'll take some time to take some questions. So our current install plans with polish. This Sorry, lost my mind there for a second. So we're talking about, this looks similar to the UPW. We try to use the same kind of function. This here is the conduit 25. And if I pull that up, we'll know that conduit 25, this should match um, everything that's listed here. Goes in conduit 25. And this is the kind of cable that goes in there with it to this LCP. So let's just say I clear this column and I want to see if there's anything additionally going into conduit 25. I can look at that one, click that. Okay. Nope, that's all there is. Go into that LCP. Okay, and then there's just one more thing. When we do that, when we have that model done, and I'm showing you this because it'll become important. I think it's this one. I might have to import something here real quick, but I'll have a folder that says conduit IDs. This just has to populate real quick. Yeah, as you know as well as I do, sometimes these models take a long time to populate. Yeah. So in this model, like we'll have a conduit ID. Be able to click that, and then it will take you to where that conduit will be. As a keep conduit, we need to move it over, but there'll be an arrow. We just need to go adjust these. These are my markups from when I was showing the modelers where to put the conduits. So we'll kind of put an arrow next to the conduit number it is, so you'll be able to show your team pretty easily. Maybe be able to print this off. This is the one you're looking for, conduit 16, conduit 14, conduit 12. It's right here. If you want to print this out, you can do that. I like to show the team images of this. So what I would normally do is take this. Oops. So I'm looking for conduit 25. If you print this whole thing out, you can, this points to where you're going to be pulling from in the Rio. So that's Rio 101. That's what I usually do. 243 101 01. This is where the Rio is. So you can tell your guys, hey, you're pulling to this group of 25, conduit 25 from this Rio, same color. And this has the tray in there, so you'd probably be pulling down around here. That gives you an idea. I take that information to make work packs. I say, I take this. I can select, let's select these for my guys. I'd right click and I would actually, sorry, not right click. I would print. I would print selection. I would, usually you can fit it to one page. I print these out. I hand this so they know exactly what they're pulling, the panel, so that everybody's certain about what conduit is. It's real nice to have that information. You know what you're pulling, kind of what the LCP you're pulling to. Um, you can use it as a checklist. Matt, I think you've done this probably more than I have. We're printing them out to the guys and handing a work back, but um, that's where it helps me.
Yeah, we're slowly getting into that now.
Yep, yep. And you will. I just want you to know that we'll have on these boxes when we get it finally settled, we'll have numbers next to them. Like if it's number, these will actually be all 001, and we'll have a little line drawn in there, and you guys can know, hey, we're pulling this conduit and back to whatever Rio. If you want to just see all the Rios, there's different ways to do that and search this too. But for now, what I wanted to show you was the PMD tracker, and the last thing I'll show is a different ways to search through this. You'll see a bunch of NAs. So you have columns of the LCPs if you just want to see everything that goes back to LCPs. So far, that's what Brian's got. Anything with a VP has a viewpoint in the model that you can associate with, and the way you find that is by going over to usually to the description to find out which one of those it is. And if you want to take out this and you just want to see what's going back to what Rio, again, you can go here. If you're looking for a specific instrument and you want some information on that, I don't know. Then we'll go through a use case. 241-0-25B. Great, that's that PNID, so that can help me find that. And you could also search if you know kind of what system you're working on and you want to go over to this column and you want to say makeup 1. Those are the points I have that have to do with makeup 1. If that's the system I'm working on, that might be good to look through. So like Mike or Emmanuel or Mike or whoever, what's something that you're working on right now that we can do like a use case to see if this if we can walk through something? Is there a specific area you're working on or something that you're an area maybe where you're ready to run more conduit, or are you guys pulling any kind of wire to any devices that we could go through and search and see if we can make this work for you?
Where I got the LCPs, and I also about to start on the VFDs for the
Okay.
24-volt power.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's something that I'm working on right now, putting together.
Okay, yeah, and I saw and he Matt showed me that sheet, and we're going to take that information that you have there,
Uh huh.
and we'll add because I saw you had the size, right?
Yeah.
I think it was this one. So you had the cable size.
Yeah.
So all these go down with this one to this LCP.
Yep.
So I'll have our so like let's say LCP 241-104. I'm gonna have that on my other screen real quick. That's the LCP 241-1-04. So this one here, and yeah, this will be 18 on this one here. So now that I'll have that same info, and it looks like you got here and here, just to be clear, we should have the same points. 04A, 04B, 04C, 04D, and 17A. And then you got some spares. So the spares, and those are all working with, oh, I guess the makeup and one random glass bead filter. That's kind of odd. Oh, that's at 17A. That's why it's different. So the spares are just, so there's 3 spares associated with that. And did you find that looking at the connection drawings
Yeah,
that
yeah,
had
that's
those
what the
spares?
connection. Yeah, that's why I say you got three spares, and I
Yeah,
don't know
Matt,
if it's gonna be for feature use or not. I don't know about that, but
yeah, or so, Matt, maybe you know, or maybe this is an open that we need to close. When we're bringing these XC spares, we have a 19
Mm-hmm.
or 819 conductor cable. Are we just
We're not landing
taping
them.
the ends off or what?
Yeah, tape off the ends and just tuck it in the conduit inside those analytical cabinets or the J box.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so we'll know we have some spares. We just got to make sure we get these points. Everything that's not on this list will just be a spare, and we'll just tape off. But we're not marking it in any special way. So that's good. So we can take this off, and it's good for you to go through that process manual, and then I'll have Brian take this info. Once we get this info over here, I think it'd be I think it'd be helpful to be on the same page. If you know that conduit's installed, maybe we can work a little more closely together with Brian, who's helping design model to we can start naming these conduits, and then you can say if those conduits are installed or not. There's probably gonna be, I think, several hundred conduits installed from tray down to different areas. Um, and it's going to be really important that we know which one we're all talking about. It can't just be that conduit over by C7 feeding that thing I can't remember. It's going to be very good for us if we'll number the conduits, and then we can reference the conduits by those numbers and follow those down, and see all the devices that are in that conduit. It'll help Leonard and Michael and Matt speak in meetings when they're asking about specific systems. We can look up by points and see what conduit's in, and then we can see if that pathway is, if the conduit's installed and we're ready to pull the wire, or if the wire's already pulled. So that's why it's really nice to have this where everybody can see it and we can work on it together, compared to if you just have something that you're working on by yourself on a piece of paper on your desk. It's real hard with um, this many devices. If something happens, if you feel like you screw it up or something, like, don't worry about it. But there's backups and backups and backups. It's no big deal. I can go through and see um, all of the different stuff that's ever happened from when we made this document. It just saves a copy of the of all of it, and we can go back and review it, and if we have to see and then merge the changes, it's not that big of a deal. So please don't feel like you're scared to use it. Just please don't change the column widths. That's for everybody's sanity. Um, and we can show changes, like if there's a status change we want to know. Like I think you'd be able to, in a lot of instances, we can show the changes of a particular cell. If we want to know, like, oh, like, did we finish that? If I have a question, then I can ask that question to the person who changed it. If it's like, oh, Manuel said he was all done with these, I have a question, I can just reach out directly to the person that was working on that system, which can be really helpful.
If we want to change the column widths and stuff like that, turn it off. Right now, he's got that on as a live document. Just
Oh,
turn it off.
autosave. Oh yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just turn that off. Do what you want to do, but when you close out of it, don't save it.
Yeah. We just had it happen. That's only from experience, right? Like you're going through and then somebody hides all these columns and then what the person was working on just like disappeared. That's the one downfall. So yeah, good point, Matt. That's a lot of information. It's
Yes.
recorded. We'll send a link. Are there any
I
questions
have a
or can I
question
go
before you
over
get off.
again? Yep,
Kyle.
go ahead. Yeah, now's a good time.
Okay. One problem I'm having with PMD is I'm finding multiple transmitters or instruments that are not listed on the PMD.
Okay, can you give me for instance?
For instance, the one that's on top of my head would be FIT 116-0-13 alpha.
$116 or $115, you said?
Okay, why in the heck is it not showing up on mine?
Okay. Which one was it?
113.
116 right here?
Yeah, that one's fine.
Okay,
Check all your
so
filters, Mike.
yeah, it's the filter. So that was the part of the beginning.
Thought I
So
had them all.
yeah, that's okay. So the easiest way to get all the filters off, go to data, go to clear. That'll do everything. That's even the ones that are struck out. I usually go over here then and I take this up, but you don't even have to. So, but they're like, so let's look at that one again. We go 116 dash, this one here. Let's find out if there's more than one. No, there's two.
Okay, well, that'll also bring me to a second question.
Mhm.
Is, okay, like that FIT, for instance, has an FY and then an FE tied to them, and the wiring actually goes from the Rio to the FY, and then from the FY to the FIT, and then they have a factory.
You have 24 volts in there.
FIT to the FE. Well, yes, that too. And like the conduit ID just shows a conduit ID for a pathway installed going to the FIT. So as far as tracking purposes, it doesn't show on the PMD for anything going to the FY or anything that goes to the FE.
It won't show anything to the FE because it's not coming from a Rio. But it will show the other one that you're speaking of because it's under 24 volts. You got to refilter it and get your 24 volts to show. And
So yeah. Oh, I will say one thing here, just so because Brian's put a lot of work into this. We do have, it's a from to here. Okay. And then on this, I know you're saying for tracking purposes. For this, I go from the Rio to the FY, from the FY to the FIT, from the FI2 to the FE. That'd be accurate?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. Yep. So we have it on the install plan. The PMDs come from the issued for construction, the IFC package. And so that information comes directly in a package from the design team. So they don't put the secondary elements on their PMD. So we don't add that to the tracker. So I understand what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. So if you if you have a good way or an idea how that would be easier for you to
well, I do, and I started when you were looking at the current install plan and you've seen the other one that I have that says INST installed. I started highlighting what instruments have been installed. That way, it's got the FY that's highlighted for the FT and the FE. If those three have been installed, they've all been changed to a color.
On the IST. Okay, so you didn't want to use the X because it didn't work for what you were trying to do.
Right. That instrument tracker that you and I talked about, and they made it first. It, because it doesn't have the FYs or the FEs, it didn't serve a complete purpose. of what I was trying to do. But if you look in the current install plans and look at the install plan that I titled or added
Let me find it
the
here.
title instrument installed, that's a new one I've made that's kind of
Okay, so
helping a lot better now.
what just one thing I will ask, if you do a highlight, you need to put on the sheet what your highlights mean. Because otherwise it
I did.
only means
It's on
something
there.
to you. Like I'll
It's
show you.
on there. If you'll pull it,
Yeah, it's
too,
pulling up. It's pulling up right now. I'm just saying, like, see where this says green? Green means labels printed.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, nobody knows what green
No.
means.
This is not on the PMD.
Oh, it's on
It's
the.
not on the PMD.
Oh,
It's
okay. I
on the
thought.
current install plan.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry. That's being weird. Okay.
If you pull up on in the documents, the one that it says in your I'm in UPW PW1. Do the one that says INST installed?
Mm-hmm. For some reason, this thing's really freaking out right now.
Easiest one. Look on page 2.
Mm-hmm.
Up in the top left corner, I got the 3 highlights colors.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so okay, understood. The only issue with having a separate document is that Brian's still working on the first one to make sure all the devices on there. We have a lot of extra, we have a lot of questions about several hundred devices from Avivo. So we're constantly updating that. So if you want to, like, maybe what's a good way?
Well, I didn't want to put it in the actual current install plan until I had the chance to show it to
Yeah.
and talk to Matt about that. And see
Yeah,
if
no,
he was on
good point.
board
This
with
is a
that
perfect,
idea.
yeah, this is a perfect time to talk about that. How do we want to deal with these FYs, FYTs? That's a good question. Off the top of your head, what do you think, Matt?
You know, one thing I did at Mod 3 just for my own sanity was I took the install plans and I saved it underneath the tracker file. That was
Yeah.
my own install plan on the tracker file, and what I did is I highlighted the boxes what was complete.
Mhm.
Or you can do whatever you want. Like you can do what you just did, but make it your own inside the tracker file, so you're tracking to what you're installing or what you need to install or buy others. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so basically just move it over to the tracker file.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I will tell you something. I can do something pretty weird, depending on like what if you you made the boxes right, and I can do like I can make this happen for you, like these rectangles. If it was everything done, a stand installed. Um, I'm just showing you this to show that like what's possible. I can export these markups. I can just save these real quick, and then just to quickly merge them if we do have to do this thing at some time. I'm not going to save this one, but I can import those, and they'll go exactly where. Oh, I must have saved in the other one. They'll pull up, and everything will pull up right where you marked it on the other one. So it's just if you change the color of the thing, it won't work. But if you do something on top of it, like if you just highlight on top of it, it will work. And I can pull those in if we need to or whatever. But I agree with Matt. Just go ahead and because it looks like you changed the colors of the boxes.
I
Yeah.
did. I changed
Okay.
the fill from white to the
Oh, got you, the fill
colors.
color. Okay. Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, on your own thing, like that's a good idea from Matt. We're gonna be changing a lot of stuff, or not. Hopefully not a lot, but God, there was Matt can contest. There's like, I know at least 119 devices that were like not supposed to be in our scope, apparently, that are only networked that we might be taking out of here. The FYs and the FITs are not going to be one of those. But just to give you an idea, I know it's late in the game, but it's still a little bit of a work in progress, unfortunately.
Right. No, I understand that. That's like I said, that's why I made my own. That
yeah.
way it didn't change anything. So that way I didn't screw anything up.
Yeah.
But it was a way I could try to keep track of what the heck's getting installed because it is a lot.
It is.
Yes.
And I encourage you guys to make your own trackers. Yelix is doing a good job of it. Anything that we all think differently, and we have our own ways of tracking stuff. So if you have a way that you want to track things so you can speak to it, then I encourage you to do it and make make a new install plan, whatever it is, and put it in the tracker file. And that's something when I'm in these meetings I can also look at. So I actually do appreciate that you guys do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. And then like what we're hoping to do is we take that information, and if it's 10 minutes at the end of the day, this is the PMD tracker is going to be the easiest thing for us to say. Like what's everything that the wire's installed to.
See, and
So
that's what, as you can see, I put on the under the FIT for the device install that the FY was installed.
yep. So is the pathway installed all the way too? It must be if the wire's pulled, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We are missing parts of the conduits. If it's not X, it's not 100%.
Oh,
It,
that's
it
Oh,
might be it might be a piece of liquid type to the device. I don't know, but we got the
okay.
wire pulled down there.
So the wire is pulled to the FY, but not to the FIT, from the FY to the
well,
FIT.
it's probably pulled to a T that's right beside,
Oh, okay.
and because the flex has not been completed.
Uh-huh.
I know that much.
Okay.
Now, real quick, Kyle, just because I
Yep.
was trying to find it on my own, would you
Yeah.
show me where in the data deal where that clear button was again one more time?
Oh yeah. Data
Uh-huh.
and then clear.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yep. And if it's not showing up for some reason, just make sure you have your, like, select one of these boxes and then do it. It just, something gets weird sometimes. Another thing, if you have more to say about one of these boxes, see this little comment? I'll show you how to do that. It can be helpful because it'll tell you like when the comment was and who said it. So if you had a comment like you're, here and you wanted to do it, I could write, wire pulled from, and you don't have to do this, but if there's something wordy that you need to say to explain yourself, you know,
Perfect.
you can do that, and you can write back and forth. And my God, you could even you can put somebody's name in. A lot of different options, and it will send them a little email saying, you know, whatever, and then it will just show up it'll show up like that, and you click on it, and it will do it. You just press send, and it just shows up as a
That
little thing in the upper right, and that's right click, and then new comment.
okay. That could be very useful also.
Yeah, I think so, because we kind of we go back and forth sometimes. Um, there's a lot going on that's in the weeds. That we can. Oh, we got to press comment, and then I'm just going to delete it. We can resolve it, or I can just delete it later if it's no longer applicable.
Okay. That'll be very helpful. I'm teaching myself new things on all these programs every day. It seems like.
Yeah, and you know what? I honestly I do. I wish it was simpler. I really fucking do. Believe me, I'm not like this isn't more fun for me to do it this way. I'm not like I don't feel, but it is a way that works with all the different sets of information that we have, and
Right. That's
hopefully
just
it'll
like
work. Yeah, for you guys. But what
that's
Matt
just like I
said.
told Matt that I
Yep.
wish I knew what I know now 4 or 5 months ago.
You know what? Next time, man.
Oh
You'll
yeah,
know
I'm
next time.
already.
We'll power through this one, and the next time you're like, I think we can do that a little differently. That would help me out 6 months from now.
Oh yeah, I'm already
Yeah.
looking at how easy I think BCP3 is going to be because of what I've learned here.
Yeah. And then don't forget this little search magnifying glass for text in here. If you're searching for a device in here, that works really well. And also the bookmarks here, they're all
Yes.
bookmarked. So that will really save you a lot of time. And that's the connection drawings too. And I did just add 7 and 8 yesterday, Matt and I yesterday afternoon. So Rio 241107 and '08 were added to these connection drawings. So if you were missing devices, Emmanuel, trying to find stuff you couldn't find in the connection drawings yesterday afternoon is when we went through and added these two.
Man, perfect. I thought I was done, but it seems like there's more added to it, huh? That's
Yeah, there's a few, I don't know how many pages it was, but maybe
okay.
50 something. Like for two Rios. Yeah, so there's a little more to do maybe.
Yeah.
Just a heads up. And
So, question for Matt. So basically, I got the X on this, updating this the folder and making sure some of them I pulled X as wire pull, but I think I probably need to go back in there and put notes because some of them there is no wire to the FE yet, and some of them doesn't have a conduit. So I guess I can just go ahead and put that as a note, right? So that way anybody see it, they can see that okay, wire is pulled to the main devices, but it's not the jumper is not pulling yet, right?
You can, if you want to go back and note it, go ahead. If it's going to take you a day or day and a half, I wouldn't waste your time. Let's just keep focusing, moving forward. We know we got conduit to complete because the conduit pathway isn't X'd out yet. So we know we got conduit to complete on all of those. And we know when the conduit gets complete, we got to finish getting the wire down to the actual device. It's whatever helps you, Emmanuel.
All right.
If that's what's going to help you drive this forward, then yes, absolutely.
Okay.
yeah, this is a going back and checking too, like not letting things fall through the cracks. This is like, that's what this is really good for too at the end. Like we think we're done with Rio 8, like if I was looking here, that's what I'd be looking for. Like, hey, are we done? Are we ready to out this Rio 8? And we can go through and check, or I must have grabbed the wrong one. Which one did I have there? Wire pulled X. Must have been the 242. Rio 651, '08 and '09. So just 108. 650 dash 1. So I wouldn't quite, I know I have these 24 volts. I know there's a couple more things to do here on this Rio. And then Matt can go through and be like, okay, let's see. What else do we got? Basically, an LIT and an AIT. So can we get those done? Are we ready?
Speaking of the 24 volts, me and Chase were looking at something earlier. You know how there used to be the column where it said pre-wired?
Yes.
Or I don't. We couldn't find it on one because we printed all the labels out. We got a lot of the pre-wired labels printed out, and we don't need to install those labels.
Let me see if it's hidden in here somewhere. They got hidden by accident. HIJK. Scope comments. Got hidden.
Yes. So anything that says pre-wired, guys, we don't have to do those. Those are done. Those are just basically internal to the Rios with PLCs. And then on top of that,
It's a learning thing, yeah.
on top of that, some of our FITs and AITs that need 24 volts, when you filter out this PMD, you probably will not show the 24 volts. You'll have to filter it for, oh, I don't know how we're going to filter it, but you have to filter it with the 24 volts as well. So you show actual both cables that you need to pull.
So is that true? If I just go FIT here?
Yeah, let's look at one.
I want to say
Yeah.
it shows it as a 4-wire system instead of 2-wire on them.
Yes, it will. But to get the actual line item, I think actually it's showing it for those right there. No, maybe not.
I just looked for FITs.
Okay, so it's
I
showing
just
it.
searched for FITs. And
But if you search like just a certain like FIT 116, it's only going to
Yeah.
pull up that one line item.
when we did it earlier though, it did pull up too. So let's do that. We did is 116-0-13A, right?
Yep.
Yep. It put up 2.
Go to, go across. Did we get it?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
we
did.
did. We just have the labeling issue still to do on those, which me and Chase know what to do for the labels. It's just we haven't had time to go in and put in the info.
Yep. So it shows
Right.
that, yeah, it shows they were printed, but maybe that's not accurate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So
It's
yeah,
kind of,
just take some reps, guy. Like get used to it. Like don't be scared of it or nothing. But it will take some time, and then but it will be very helpful. And once you get it dialed, you'd be like, okay, great. Now I know I have this much stuff left. So let's go. What's stopping us from doing that? And it will become that last 20% that usually takes a very, very long time. Will go much, much, much quicker. And that's when it really gets pressure, is that last 20. And this will really, really help us get dialed and make good plans for that last 20% and be able to speak to it, and have a real good ending to the job. So thank you for sitting through all that and being attentive. Is appreciated.
no, thank you. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Thank
add to
you,
this,
Kyle.
guys. This is really overwhelming. I get it. I've been in your shoes, but these are tools that were made basically for the foremans. Get used to using them, and it's really gonna help you be more efficient out in the field. There's gonna be a whole lot less running around if you can get used to using all these tools. And you're gonna be able to put together better packages for your guys and give them more info, better info.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for getting this together, Matt. It's a good call.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm here.
Have a good
Yeah,
day.
reach out. Yeah, reach out whenever.
Thank you.
Send me an email. I'm available.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kyle. It's very helpful.
Good. All right, cool guys.
Bye
Have a good
bye.
have a good afternoon. Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you.
All right, you do the same.
All right, bye.